Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about streaming services like Netflix and HBO Max and Disney Plus, and this article in the Hollywood Reporter, why they're stalling on sharing data. One of the most frustrating things when we talk about, shows or movies on these streaming services is we have no metric for what is successful.
Right. It's just you have to go by third-party guesses because they won't post it.
Yeah, Disney especially. They're like, oh, trust us. Black Widow had X number of downloads.
Well,
trust
Netflix
us.
too. She was one of the top ones, and so was He-Man. And then when you talk to some of these people directly, you find out maybe not so much.
Yeah, so very interesting. I think eventually there will be some third-party accountability. I think it's going to happen since this is replacing television.
Mm-hmm. For advertisers and stuff like that.
For advertisers, yeah, because they're adding more and more ads to these services. Disney was even talking they were going to add ads to Disney
you were supposed to not get ads. That was the point. And now they're going to probably put ads on it.
Right, and we know that Peacock's already doing it. I think HBO Max has an ad-supported version of it. So, of course, for the advertisers, they're going to have to tell them what the metrics are. And remember that they were having a fit about Nielsen's. They're like, we need to redo the Nielsen's ratings.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because it's a skewed version of what people are watching. I think the main reason they are hiding numbers is if people knew how many people were actually watching these shows or not watching these shows, it would be catastrophic for buzz. Because people, already they look at YouTube videos, they look at trailers. They look at, view counts on articles to try to get an idea of how popular something is. And if you've got Netflix and HBO and Disney telling you this is the hottest thing ever, and you're like, literally nobody has seen this show, nobody's talking about this show, how many people actually watched the first episode? Oh, 10,000. 10,000 people watch.
And even then, that's probably the drop off to the second. You might have a lot of people watch the first, but usually that drops off significantly.
Yeah, but I love the graphic they've got here. The guy behind the curtain, Wizard of Oz, razzle dazzle with the numbers, and that is like every area of Hollywood. So
right, and then sometimes they do this thing. Well, it was this many people watched for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean they watched the whole thing.
Yep. And compare that to YouTube where you actually can see view counts, and you can see engagement. Well, they hid the downvotes. And I'm waiting.
Have they hid it? Because I think they're still showing.
Some people. It depends. Some channels. Some people said that ours are being hidden. But, obviously, we can see them on the back end. But I don't know. It should be kind of rolled out, I guess, across the platform the next couple months. But I'm waiting for them to hide the view counts. Because we don't want NBC to feel bad that some random gamer YouTube gets way more views than they do.
I got one for you. That's Sneakerella. Okay, during Disney Plus, their Investor Plus Day, whatever the hell they're calling it, they had this Sneakerella film coming out in February. And in like 3 days' time, it had like 113,000 views, and that was all the more the trailer got. For a platform with 5-point-some million subscribers, it only had 113,000 views. It was downvoted like 4-1. The comments were like, this is stereotyping, this is bullshit, all that stuff. And, of course they're going to want to hide that because, it looks bad when, if we did a video on how dumb it was, we'd probably get more hits than their video trailer about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it does happen. Actually,
it happens a lot. Marvel, too.
Yeah, we've actually done videos that have gotten more views talking about something on a streaming network that's got more views than the actual trailer. So that's probably part of it. So we're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 240,000 subs. Our sub count is public. You can see, we don't have millions and millions of subs, but for some reason, people seem to care an awful lot about what we say.
Right.
I don't understand.
But make sure you're still subscribed because apparently people keep getting unsubscribed.
Yeah, that's a thing too that happens on YouTube. So yeah, coming from the Hollywood Reporter. The Hollywood Reporter, why streamers are stalling on sharing data. Success is subjective, subscriber bases vary wildly, and confusing metrics, math, has left Hollywood with little more to go on than we know hot programming when we see it. What? It's a hit. Trust us.
Yeah, can we say so?
Oh, my God. They're talking about the syndication viewing numbers and how this kind of, carries over into streaming, too. Talking about the Big Bang Theory in particular. So they said, according to the current modus operandi, streaming platforms gather reams of data about their users, whether certain titles drive subscriptions, how long people watch a show or movie, how many people finish once they start, and cost per user, ARPU. ARPU. All of these figures are kept in-house, and in most cases, streamers don't even share basic viewing data publicly. There's no industry-wide currency for viewership on SVOD platforms in the way that Nielsen's ratings have served the traditional TV business and the box office figures, and they're trying to change that too. They're trying to change that because Hollywood doesn't want to admit that people aren't in love with their shit.
Right, and that's why, like Disney, it was their benefit to do split releases because they, oh well, the box office number said this, but our internal, metrics say this.
Yeah, they said that they offer oblique statements like, over the Ted Lasso season 2 premiere weekend, Apple TV Plus expanded its new viewers by a record-breaking 50%. Okay, well, if you had 10 viewers and you picked up 5 more, it's still fucking sad. It is,
It's all about the spin.
December 2018, Netflix tweeted 45 million Netflix accounts have already watched Bird Box, adding that the Sandra Bullock star marked the best first 7-day showing for Netflix film. We've actually got numbers. Yeah, at the time. At the time, watched meant 70% of a movie or 70% of one episode of a series. So theoretically, they could say, look at all these people that are watching Masters of the Universe Revelation. Oh my God, it's a huge hit. They watched 70% of it until He-Man died.
That was at the time. I think it's even less now.
They did. They said it's less, yeah. There's no way to verify the data. The claim is little more than spin. Same with Disney.
We've been saying this.
Yes, thank you. Hollywood Reporter, trusted media outlet. Yeah, they're hiding the numbers. They're hiding the numbers because they don't want people to know how shitty some of their programming is actually doing. Now, Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar defended the lack of transparency.
Of course he did.
At least in the early days of streaming, he estimated that a rival like Netflix boasts about 20 million more subs than HBO Max in the US because of its status as an early entrant. So basically, nothing they put on HBO Max is going to track like a huge hit on Netflix, except for the Snyder Cut, which crashed the servers.
But then they want to distance themselves from that.
And yeah, trust them. It wasn't that big of a hit. Wonder Woman 84 did better. Trust them.
Yeah, he sure did.
Trust them. Wonder Woman 84 totally brought down.
Wonder Woman 84 might have done really well the first day or two until word of mouth got out, and then I don't think it did after that.
The advantage is being direct to consumer is we get an immense amount of data. Kilar told the Hollywood Reporter. You don't just see the viewing numbers, you see how much they view it. What order do they view things in? How much do they watch? Etc. We labor over it. So they have all this really detailed information.
Yeah, we know exactly how well the shows are doing. Doesn't mean they're going to tell everybody else.
Yep, it said Netflix recently abandoned the 2-minute view metric while offering little insight into whether subscribers actually stuck with the show or film. At least allowed for comparison across titles on the biggest streaming outlet. It's all smoke and mirrors, guys. Like, we don't know how well things are doing until they start bragging. Like they talk about Squid Game. Squid Game was this huge, huge hit. Then you'll hear about it. But then people start asking questions like, well, if Squid Game is such a massive, massive hit, and what's number 2? What's number 3?
Well, then there are other outside sources that give you some idea, but they're, they don't have the data either. They're just, going by what they can go by. And I know like with Black Widow or different films, they said that here's what we're estimating, for like WandaVision or Black Widow or whatever, because they aren't given the actual metrics.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard for, celebrities to be like, is this a good move for me to jump over to Netflix or something? Am I going to get more eyeballs if I, just keep doing theatrical movies? And of course, Disney, we know they're probably gonna work it because they don't want to pay people.
Oh yeah, Disney always spins it. But this is interesting. And I'm going to argue with this. They're talking about Warner Media Studios and Networks Group Chair and CEO Ann Sarnoff argues that the new streaming dominant landscape has made it difficult to release numbers akin to the ratings or box office data of the past, given the complexity of the information and the subjectivity of its value to the streamer. For example, what metric matters most? Subscription acquisitions, engagement, or something else entirely? I don't know. When they used to have ratings and stuff for shows, via Nielsen's or like the box office numbers, you had the same thing. Okay, well, are they going to watch every week? What they watch right then? People want to know what matters, how many subscribers are going up. No, they want to know probably what your viewership actually was and things like that, which would have been the exact same damn information that you would have got prior to this. So that is a load of shit, Sarnoff. Is that her name? I don't even know what her name is.
Sarnoff, yeah.
That's a load of crap. I mean,
Yeah.
you're right to a point, but that's a way of deflecting.
They're like, well, with similar subscriber bases, comparisons with competitors would be more relevant. So basically, HBO Max is like, we don't have nearly as many subs as Netflix. So, comparing us to Netflix is kind of pointless. But I'm like, no, what percentage of your viewers watch a particular show?
Well, you know what comparisons I find interesting? Remember that list of kids shows? They had shows from like Netflix and Disney Plus and the different shows on there, and YouTube was kicking all their asses.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to be honest here. I think you're going to find that YouTubers and YouTube series are actually kicking the asses of not just broadcast television shows, but also streaming services. Like people might subscribe to watch a certain show or whatever, but you might find out that, again, more people are talking about a show on YouTube and getting more engagement and more views than the actual show itself gets. And that's embarrassing. It can't be like, oh, everybody's talking about the show, either whether it's good or bad, and only like 10,000 people watched it.
Well, how about with New York Comic Con last year? I think it was New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
When they put their numbers together to talk about their engagement, or maybe it was San Diego, or maybe it was both. But I remember they were putting out there, they counted engagement as anybody who, the minutes and the views on anybody who ever talked about it. So they were going around anytime anybody mentioned it on any video ever, they were counting it as their engagement.
Yeah, so there were people talking smack about the New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con being a waste of time. I mean, there were videos that were getting less than 1,000 views.
Yeah, like in 2020, yeah.
Yeah, and that's despite being heavily promoted and all of that.
And they counted the people that got like thousands of views, like ours, talking about it as their views.
Yeah. It's just
a load of shit.
Yeah. So look, guys, at the end of the day, they're hiding because they don't want to be embarrassed. That's why they're hiding the numbers. Like Paramount Plus and Peacock probably aren't going to have the numbers that Disney Plus and Netflix are going to have, and they're hiding the numbers.
Well, I think they're hiding the numbers because investments and investors, and they're trying to, they're fighting with each other, trying to get content. And if someone might look at it and say, "Oh, well, you don't have as much money as they do. I can go get more money from them." That kind of thing. Yeah,
it could even be a case of like HBO Max might pay somebody more than Netflix, but somebody might go to Netflix and be like, well, I know I'm going to get more views on Netflix.
Right.
It's kind of the same way with it. They talk about YouTubers going to other platforms like Odyssey or whatever, and people are going to be like, well, I know on YouTube I'm going to get X number of eyeballs and X number of dollars. If I go to a place like Odyssey, I'm looking at the view counts. They're not great, because not as many people are there. This is the, as of, October 13th. This is the list of Netflix's top series as ranked by account
And where
views.
do they get the numbers? From Netflix?
They don't say. I don't know if this is what's been provided via Netflix.
So you're supposed to trust it because
trust
Netflix
them.
said. Okay.
Trust them. Okay. So this is why they're so excited about Squid Game. Squid Game season 1, 142 million people watched it.
Yeah, it's like almost double everything else.
Yep. Bridgerton, 82 million. Lupin, part 1. 76 million. The Witcher, season 1, 76 million. Sex and Life, season 1, 67 million. Stranger Things 3, 67 million. Money Heist, 65 million. Tiger King, 64 million. The Queen's Gambit, 62 million. And Sweet Tooth, which that kind of blows my mind because not a lot of people talked about it.
No, I still don't see people talking about it.
60 million. So yeah, I mean, here are the movies, the top movies. Extraction, 99 million. Bird Box, 89 million. Spencer Confidential, 85 million. Six Underground, 83 million.
I haven't heard of half of these.
Murder Mystery, 83 million. The Old Guard, 78 million. Enola Holmes, we have heard of that one.
Yes, I've watched
because it's got Henry Cavill in it. Yeah.
I watched it, yeah.
77 million. Project Power, 75 million. Army of the Dead, 75 million. Fatherhood, 74 million. Just trust us. That's what's happening. Now, this has been discussed for a while, even going back into the summer.
Yeah, we've been discussing it for longer than this.
Yeah, this is why they're keeping their ratings hidden at all cost. And, they said basically in reality, major streaming services guard their viewership data with the zealous fervor of Thanos hoarding Infinity Stones. They don't want us to paint an accurate picture.
Yeah, why? Then you have to ask yourself, why?
Because it's going to make them look bad. And
I know. I mean, that was a rhetorical question, but yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. That's what, it's
yeah.
Or they don't like, we don't want anybody to sneak our information. Well, if comparing apples to oranges that you say in other times, because platform to platforms are different with different audiences, what does it matter if they know what your numbers are?
they're like, why would companies play into always trying to best their own series, not to mention competitors, when they can sell the assumption everything is doing well? Disney does this. Like, oh, Disney Plus is doing so good. All these subs, and The Mandalorian is a huge hit, and we've got all this other programming. And I think it's going to be not even an 80-20 rule, but probably a 90-10 or a 95-5 rule, where 5% of the content is driving subscribers and engagement and people are watching it, and the rest of it's just a bunch of crap.
That's true, but they want more money from investors and stuff to put into some of this crap, hoping that it would be something that, resonates with people. But yeah, they even mentioned that here, Marvel Studios. This is true. They said that it would be detrimental for Marvel Studios to contend with the hypothetical narrative, which I believe was true, that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier wasn't as popular as WandaVision. And it would be difficult for a streamer service with a smaller subscriber base to explain to everyday viewers why its flagship series only garners a fraction of Netflix viewership. I mean, I think most people would understand that.
Yeah, I think if you're like, well, our service only has like 10 million subs.
I think people would understand that.
Yeah, but, out of those 10 million subs, 6 million watch this one show.
So basically, at the end of the day, it's a pissing match or a dick measuring contest. And, people are just like, trust me, it's 11 inches because I say so.
Pretty much trust us. Trust us. Everything's fine. It's all fine here. It's all good. It's all good, guys. So next time Bob Chapek goes on and on about the massive success
it's not 11 inches.
Disney Plus, it's not 11 inches. It's more like 4.5. All right. You got to be this tall to ride the ride.
Wait, what?
We're going to wrap this up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.